So good evening, good evening, good evening. Apologies, we are not sure why our stream is giving us so many issues. Nevertheless, we do still have our live commentary still recorded over the race. Here we have the Bravo tier now. Starting with their qualifying, we've got 12 drivers out there. That is Ashley, Rudy, James, Reese, Brandon DeSantos, Raphael, that's a killer. Oh, I don't even know which killer there is because we know that we've got two killers. Let's just see there in 7th place. That is Killer D. That's Dave Mafira down in 8th place. And very, very congested at the moment with the guys going out. Colin. We then have a Mal Jacques. Then a Dodge. That is Leon, a new driver here with SARCO. His debut, and he just managed to get himself as the host this evening. And our fearless leader, I'd say, from a hosting point of view, that is Julian, currently down in a 12th place. James taking it nice and easy. He's still in the pits. Obviously doesn't want to get himself in some traffic. And we did find out, we can really see that Reese getting himself a little bit of a 1 grid place penalty. And that's probably just speeding in the pits, but now you're going to see the guys are going to be jostling for those positions, trying to find themselves some clear track, so they're able to get themselves up and running. So Ashley did mention that we are racing at Dubai, and you'll see that we do have it under the lights here, and that's purely because the track gets so hot that running during any other sort of time other than the evening just burns up the tires, and it actually becomes so unpleasant to drive. So now we're going to get the guys on their flying laps. 2 minutes left to go down the start finish line into turn number 1, and then we have the splits through the national track. Either go to the left, but here we either go to the right or to the left, but here we're going to keep to the left. Then there's a double right-hander, so we'll just stay here on Reese. So now he's going to go through turn number 2, then this double right-hander through turns number 3, and then turn number 4. Then it's a quick change of direction again through 5. Then this long, wide turn number 6 that tightens up on you all the time into the 90-degree turn number 7. Little kink coming ahead through turn number 8. Then it is the 180-degree left-hander through turn number 8, turn number 9. And you want to get your car turned in nice and early, get that power on, and hopefully it doesn't understeer you out. Down the middle straight here, all the way towards turn number 10, and a lot of the cars are locking up at the end here. You can see that long straight, great shot there of seeing all the cars coming through. Then this tricky turn number 11 to the left, but you can actually ride a lot of that inside curb. It just helps rotate the car a little bit there. Then back down the hill towards turn number 12. Then on the brakes again, a nice curb to help get the car rotated. Specifically in the wet, I was using a lot of that curb there. Now as Reese heads towards turn number 13, he's going to be flat out through here, looking for that 50-meter mark. There it is on the brakes, gear down 2, 3. So Mal Jacques has just invalidated his lap. It's just come up. It looks like Killer Dave has done the same thing. As Reese now goes through turn number 15, he's now going to be heading to the last corner, turn number 16. Turn it in, get the car up onto the inside curve. Careful to not run wide there. So that looks like a good lap so far. Ashley, 208.1. Reese, 209.1. Rudy in third place. Julian in fourth. Brandon DeSantos, he's in fifth. That's Raphael in sixth. Mafira, he goes up. Oh, there we see our new driver, Leon. He gets himself up into second place. Mafira down in eighth. Raf, Killer Dave, and Mal Jacques, all of them not getting a lap time in. So it's going to be very tricky for them to come back. But we'll have to see how this one is going to play out. Mr. Craig Thompson, good evening, sir. How are you doing? So the format now for this race is 20 minutes standing start. And we are definitely going to see the BMW, that's Mafira, who is down in 9th place. But he should be able to pick up 2 or 3 places by the time he gets into turn number 1. It is lights out, and we are racing now at the Bravo tier. Very slow start there for Ashley. He's been absolutely swamped. Dropping down and now into 5th place. There's going to be some side-by-side touching. Brandon Santos up into 3rd. He's going to have a look to the inside. A little bit of touching as they go through turn number 2. But Brandon Santos definitely has made that Opel work for him. And he's held that inside line going into turn number 2 now to turn number 3. And so far everybody is coming through there quite cleanly. Another Opel, apologies, that is Brandon DeSantos right on the back of Julian. And then we've got Leon in 3rd place, newcomer, that is Dodge CRD 2007. Great move there for Julian, moving himself up on the inside. They're going to be side by side as they head to the hairpin at turn number 10. But Brandon on the inside. Is Leon going to go 3 wide into turn number 10 onto the brakes? It looks like Leon is going to follow Brandon through. So Julian's going to be side by side. That was extremely close. And jumping further down the field, it is very congested at the bottom here. So Craig, not sure if you can hear me, but I see that you have jumped in to the Discord. And so far some crazy action going on here. Very close. On the back line, and Brandon is slightly wide. He's now left that door open there for Leon. He's going to have a look to the inside as they head around the turn number 15. Very close racing, but so far the guys are keeping it nice and tidy. And Julian getting a good drive. He's going to move to the inside. And a little bit further down you can see we've got Amal Jacques right on the back of James, with Ashley to the inside. So Ashley's going to have a late lunch there, moving himself up 2 places. And Amal Jacques now having to drop behind James. But there are 3 drivers battling here for 4th, 5th and 6th. And then the first 3 out in front for 1st, 2nd and 3rd place. And we said it before and we'll say it again, that just because this is the Bravo tier does not mean that the racing is any more challenging. The guys still give it their all. We can see that the gap of Brandon and Julian is now, they're just starting to move away a little bit from Julian, from Leon, unfortunately. Apologies. Now into turn number 10. You can see that long line of 6 cars. Oh, that was a lock up there by Julian. So Julian falling down the order there. Big lock up there for him. But Leon was able to get away with just a minor bump there. So out of turn number 12, they're going to head through the kink now. Turn number 13, flat out. And you do get a nice little bit of a slipstream advantage here. See that rear wheel just lifting there for Leon as he got into the brakes, and Brandon a little bit wide. That's going to help Leon close up that gap. If we can get a good exit out of turn number 16, we know that the Opel suffers for pace down the main straight. We've got Ashley in third place, followed by Mal Jacques. Then it is Killer Dave, and this congested pack a little bit further down. That has Raphael, Rudy, Mafira, and then James in 6th place. Apologies, I know I can't hear you. There we go, Craig, I should be able to hear you now. Well, as I lost concentration there, Rudy just going a little bit too wide there, and he's had to give that place away to Raphael. They are going to be side by side going into turn number 9. And that's the beauty about this track. It is extremely wide, and Mafira having a little bit of a problem getting that BMW going into a straight line. We can just see the speed advantage there. Will he be able to get it on the brakes? It looks like he's been able to get up into 6th place. Just got to get that car rotated, get onto the power, because he's going to have a whole bunch of front wheel drive cars looking for that place now. But Mafira up into 6th place. Then it is James, Raphael, Rudy, then Reese down in 10th place. Apologies for that. Craig, are you there? So back to the battle of the front, and Leon is up in 1st place, followed by Brandon, Ashley, and then Jacques. So this is where we're going to see who has got the biggest kahunas going into the braking zone. But with Brandon dos Santos in that Opel, you can see being absolutely swamped there by the Opels. He's actually going to have a late lunge like he had earlier. So far he has done so. But Jacques is staying on that inside now. So Ashley will now be on the inside going into turn number 3. Mal Jacques around the outside. And Leon just hanging on there, keeping Brandon dos Santos at bay, who's currently in 2nd. There he is there. Going into turn number 7. These guys all jockeying for position, but Brandon tries to go tighter inside line, while Leon goes a little bit wider, then tries the cutback. Brandon definitely getting a great exit there. So that's definitely going to help him keep Rockstar, Mel, and Ashley behind him just for a couple more corners. But Rockstar Mel has now got himself ahead of Ashley. Jacques is going to have a late look into turn number 10. And Leon is all over it. For a second I thought that Jacques was going to drive straight into Ashley, but it was just the angle that they were in. Reese moving up into 6th place. So he's got himself ahead of Mafira. And Mafira has this a battle right behind him. He's got Raphael, then Rudy, then James dropping back down into 10th place. Some damage on that McGann of him. You can just see how close these guys are out in front. Oh, that is very wide there for Leon. That's probably going to be a slowdown warning for him. Brandon trying to get that cut back on him, but now that's going to compromise his exit. And Leon looks like he's slowed down. Side by side, Leon and Brandon. But Jacques now on the inside. He's going to have the opportunity to have a go on the inside with Ashley now right behind them. Ashley's going to look to the inside. No, he decides to fake it and go back to the outside. So Jacques on the inside, but Brandon DeSantos going around the outside, gets himself back up into first place. And it is Leon who was in first after the last corner, gets himself in a tricky position and finds himself down into third place. Brandon DeSantos going very wide, and they're going to be too wide between Jacques and Leon. Little bump there from Jacques against Brandon DeSantos, who's now on the inside. 10 minutes left to go. Ashley sneaks himself through the inside there, going through turn and number 9. But now Leon's going to have the inside line. So on the brakes, who is it going to be? Ashley or Leon? Then we've got Brandon and Jacques. Brandon now on the inside. Can he get the power down and put himself in a better position to go in through turn and number 11? Not quite. But it looked like that faster line, it did work for him. And Ashley just about taking the back of Jacques away. So I know that there are other close races happening, but I'm so looking to see what happens as Jacques goes to the inside. He forces a Brandon wide, so Jacques now moving himself up into first place. Ashley squeezing himself through into third. Is Leon going to have a look into turn number 16? Yes, he does. That is too wide between Leon and Ashley. Ashley's got to be careful he doesn't run too wide. They are now side by side as they get ready to cross the line. But Leon gets that place back, and he's now back up into third position. That's the battle there for 7th, 8th and 9th. Mafira in the BMW starting to put away from Raphael in 8th place, and Rudy, he is down in 9th. Let's jump back to what's happening out in front. And Jacques has now pulled himself half a second gap between himself and the second place Brandon DeSantos, with Leon now in third place. Ashley still right behind him. Apologies there, a little scratch in the throat. Oh gosh. So Jacques now pulling away. Just about a second is the gap between himself and Brandon. And very impressed here with Leon down in third place. It looks like the guys have now settled down just a little bit. The pace was extremely frantic, I'd say, for at least the last 10 minutes. But now with 7.5 minutes left to go, looks like they're just finding their rhythms. Brandon a little bit wide, and Leon looks like he does prefer hugging that inside curb, which did get him quite a good exit in through turn number 15. Now the last corner, turn number 16. Oh, that is Brandon DeSantos running wide. That could possibly be a slowdown penalty for him. Just looking at the penalties so far, that is Brandon with 1 second, Leon with 1 second. We've got Reese with 2, Raphael with 1 and James with 1. So those time penalties starting to rack up as Brandon has lost their place to Leon. But Brandon still fighting back, looking for opportunity. Has a big lunge down the inside through turn number 5 and 6. And out through turn number 7. That's compromised his exit speed, which just allows Leon to take that place back and let Ashley close up onto the back of him. Ashley going to try the wider, faster line there through turn number 9. Six minutes left to go. Brandon now back into third. Looked like Ashley was going to try and go around the outside. He's going to have a look now. Brandon gives him way too much space. And Dave and Reese got a little bit closer than I'm sure Reese would have wanted. But now Dave up into 5th place with Reese down into 6th. But Ashley now fighting with the Opel of Brandon De Santos. And there in the foreground is Dave. Dave is Leon pulling away. But this is where Brandon De Santos is going to be at the mercy of the McGann. A straight line speed comparison. You can see that Ashley is closing up into turn 1. Brandon just squeezes Ashley. Ashley has to let him go. Ashley is side by side through turn number 3 and 4. Both Brandon and Ashley late on the brakes there. Oof. It was very close on the back of Brandon De Santos. He's going to jump to Dave as Reese has got himself back up the order there. So 3 minutes 45 to go. And Jacques, the race leader, has got himself nearly 5 seconds between himself and Leon in 2nd place. Leon does have 2 seconds between himself and the battle in 3rd and 4th place. Brandon De Santos still holding the Renault McGann of Ashley at bay. Ashley just not finding a way to get around him. Great shots of that outside wheel, the inside wheel I should say, lifting up as Brandon got into the brakes. I'm sure Ashley will be sizing him up, hoping to get a good exit. But that Opel is just so stable through the corners. It looks like Ashley has got a great exit. So they are now definitely side by side. So Ashley now to the inside. Brandon has to follow him through. Both Brandon and Ashley getting on that curb. Just unsettling the car ever so slightly. Great move there for Brandon. Ashley running himself a little bit wide. He's now got himself side by side through turn number 9. Can Brandon go around the outside here? But he's had to try the cutback. Brandon in the slipstream and not going to be able to get close unless he has a late dive on the inside. Yes, he does. Ashley has to give him that space, but Ashley will be on the inside. A nudge between the two. Race leader Jacques out of turn at number 15. He's now going to set himself up to cross the enter into the last corner, turn number 16. He will cross the start finish line and do one last lap. 37 seconds left to go, but the battle of Brandon and Ashley is still continuing. And it doesn't look like this race is over just yet, because Leon has now got a tail of Ashley and Brandon. But just here has Leon got into this brake side. It sounded like the car was just bogging out a little bit. Rudy in his very, very interesting line there for Rudy going in through turn number 1. But he's starting to close up on Killer Dave. Ashley trying to get right behind, and while I say that little tail, there's Reese coming back. He's now in 5th place. So Ashley now closing up onto Leon. Will there be a late lunge into turn number 10? We saw Brandon dos Santos having a go there, but Leon is about 3 car lengths ahead. As long as he's got the power down, but he's run himself wide, allowing Ashley to go around the outside. And that's going to put him under some pressure, because Brandon dos Santos now is right there. Leon going very defensive, and Brandon's trying to push him along now. Is there an opportunity? Brandon has a great dive there, just managing to get him get that car stopped, but not able to hold on to the place as Leon does a little undercut. So Mole Jacques will cross the line and take the win there. Ashley in 2nd place. And Brandon going to the inside. It's going to be tight. But now Leon has run himself very wide. He's going to cross the line in 2nd place. But Brandon dos Santos in 3rd. But what's actually happened with those time penalties? It's promoted Reese up into 3rd place. Leon down in 4th. Brandon dos Santos in 5th, and Killer Dave, that's Dave in 6th place, Rudy in 7th, Raphael in 8th place, Mufiro is 9th. James will cross the line shortly. He's going to be preparing now to go in through turn number 13. And then Julian down the order. He is coming through turn number 11. So here we go, guys. It is the formation lap for the 2nd race for the Privateer. An extremely close and crazy race from the first one. The guys are just getting themselves up into the positions required for the start of the race. It is a rolling start. So we've got Dave, who's going to be leading the charge here in the first race, the Momo colours. Brandon Dos Santos in second place. Leon, great race there for him, having been the first one that he's had with us here at SARCO. Reese taking away a third place after some drivers ahead of him just getting themselves a couple of slowdown penalties, and definitely happy with that result. And Ashley finishing in a second place, great result there for him. But man oh man, was he fighting the whole way through this race. Jacques started from the back, didn't get a lap in, and managed to work his way up through the field. And at sake the win, really saying that he was having a bit of a struggle with the BMW that was Mafira, and he's saying in a straight line the BMW just eats opals for breakfast. So Dave now gonna just start closing up the guys a little bit. You can see everyone is now out of the last corner just about, so it is start, and we are now racing. And Reese got himself to a really good position. He's now been able to get himself alongside Brandon Dos Santos going into turn number 1. And on the brakes, Reese, a great move there. Side by side is Dave and Brandon. Dave just being pushed off a little bit as Brandon goes around the outside. Now we're going to have Ashley moving up to the inside. So Killer Dave definitely losing out a little bit there. Dave and Ashley nose to tail. Rudy up into 6th place. So he had a good start off the line. Raphael's up into 7th. So he too's had a great one, but we see down in 11th place. I wonder whether Leon had some contact there. But he's going to have a lot of work to try and catch up. Not seeing damage, so I think he might have just locked it up and got it sideways. But now we've got Reese out in front with just about half a second gap. It looks like that Opal is definitely good on the brakes. His exit's a little bit slow. We're going to have Ashley with a great line through there. He should be able to get side by side with Brandon as they head up the hill towards turn number 12. Reese under Brandon Dos Santos pressure. Now on the brakes. Brandon was able to hang on to it. Ashley just clipping Brandon on the brakes there, which has now put Jacques very close. Dave still trying to fight back as Jacques gets out of the spray. Just has a little show to the inside for turn number 16. Brandon still in second place. Jacques and Ashley still jockeying for position. Ashley moves to the inside just to protect that line. And it looks like Rockstar Mel is pulling Dave with him. 22.5 there for Dave. So starting to just fall off the pace a little bit here. Struggling to get that car turned in. So he's now lost a place to Julian, but Mafira looks like he got the traction down and was able to get himself back up into 8th place. So Reese now has Rockstar Mel right behind him. Brandon in the middle of the track at turn number 10. Ashley to the inside, just clips Brandon. And now they're all slowed down. Brandon and Mol Jacques come together and contact there, which now allows Dave to go up into 3rd place. So Jacques is now ahead of Ashley on the brakes. Will Ashley try a cutback? Very tricky to do in the wet. But Dave finding himself up in 3rd place. I'm sure he's very happy with what had happened there. Whoa, Ashley going very, very hot there. You can just see how he had to straighten his line up a bit. So Ashley off the track now. Rudy now looking to get a place on Ashley, and followed by Raphael and Julian. So Julian in the AMG has got apologies. That's yeah, it is Raphael in the AMG. I was looking at Julian. He's currently in 8th place. It's going to be a sprint into turn number 1, followed by Mafira in that BMW. Mafira just not able to get that straight line speed of that BMW to work for him. Jacques able to get himself ahead of Dave. Dave now down into 4th place. But he's going to have Ashley right behind him. You see, Brandon is taking a very, very wide line through turn number 7. It looks like he's losing pace there. But once he gets on the power, he's just holding on there. But this is where he will definitely feel the pressure now from Jacques as they head towards turn 10. Seeing a Rockstar Mal just setting the fastest first sector. That's a 56.3 there for him. So he's now starting to find that rhythm. Smart move there for Brandon. Big lock up there for him. Just not able to get that car rotated. You can see him now slowing up Jacques as well as Dave. There comes Ashley in the background. Just looking at Mafira. He's fighting for another position. Julian ahead of him. Mafira just, look at BMW just understeering. Got to use the rear to get that car rotated. Will Jacques have a look to the inside? He just gets that car braked. They both go deep. And Reese is doing a sterling job there, just keeping Brandon away by a second. That there is a battle for 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th place. 20.6 for Reese, 20.0 for Brandon, 19.6 for a Rockstar Mel. Killer Dave, 20.0, so he is doing the same times as Brandon DeSantos ahead of him. But Brandon under all sorts of pressure with 10 minutes left to go as he runs wide, going into turn 4, but he quickly recovers into turn 5. So now this is where he runs very wide. Mal Jacques will be on the inside there. Looks like he lost a gear there, which now has got Dave up on the inside of him. So Rockstar Mel now down into 4th place with Dave up into 3rd. BMW of Mafira coming down that back straight. Just closing ever so slightly on the back of Julian. Did want to quickly jump there to see what had happened, but just missed it on the brakes. But Dave all over the back now of Brandon dos Santos. They're going to be side by side. Is Dave going to get an opportunity? It looks like Jacques is going to try and squeeze through the inside. Dave shuts the door. Reese now opening a gap. Dave to the inside. He will be able to let it slow down. He does. But Brandon just straightens up, gives him some space, which now allows Dave to go through. Great move there. Little nudge there for Brandon to tell Dave, get a move on, because he's got Moljak right behind him. Brandon goes defensive through turn 16. Dave not able to get that car to rotate. So Jacques goes through. He's up into third place. Dave now drops down into fourth. Jacques now up into a second place. On the brakes, Brandon just closing that door of Ashley, because Dave now down into fifth as Ashley gets himself up into fourth place. So these guys changing positions all the time as Brandon fights back on the inside of 3, on the inside of 4. Contact the game. Brandon touches the brakes just to keep the car going in a straight line. Will Brandon be able to get the car turned in on the inside? And they go through turn number 7. He does. So Brandon fights for that place, takes it back. And Ashley right there with Dave. Just seen the notification. Mafira's just been able to get that place back from Killer Dave has moved up into fourth, but Ashley moves up into fourth. So those two also trading places. Brandon on the inside towards turn number 10. It looks like the Renault might just be ahead, but he should be able to close him up on the brakes. Moljak a little bit hesitant to get back on the power, which now puts Ashley, they're going to be side by side. Brandon just going through. Whoa, that was a late lunge there by Ashley, which now still releases Brandon out in front. But here comes Rockstar Mal, as well as Dave. And there's Rudy. While these guys have been battling out in the front, he's been closing up that gap. Big lunge there for Ashley to try and go on the inside of Rockstar Mel. Dave's going to try and go with him. So Dave does go with him, but now Jacques going to be on the inside through 15. Dave running wide. Rudy looking for an opportunity now. How does he get involved? Rockstar Mel on the inside of 16. So Brandon now has a little bit of breathing space. Rockstar Mel up into third. Dropping down because Dave got the better exit. So Dave better start coming over to the inside just to close up that gap. Oh, Ashley, a late lunge. So Ashley and Dave side by side. A little love tap there for Dave just to get Ashley to move on there. So Dave can stay wide now. Now turn in, get on the power, because Ashley was a little bit too tight. But now there goes Rudy. It looks like he's been able to... No, it looked like he had got the drive out of 7. And I thought he might be squeezing up on the inside of Dave, but not enough momentum to carry him through there. And I must say, Mafira and Julian having an almighty battle. They've changed places 3 times in the last 2 laps. So 2.5 minutes left to go, and there's still fights in these guys. Ashley going wide, which is going to put Dave on the inside. Will Dave be able to go around the outside of Ashley? It looks like he has been able to, but now has run wide. But he still holds that place, so Dave will be now on the inside. No, he breaks too soon. Ashley goes too deep. So Dave managing to stay ahead of Ashley now through turn number 13. But we know Ashley's going to have a lunge on the inside, just not close enough, and Rudy now closes up right behind him. Dave goes too deep. He's going to rejoin the track side by side with Ashley, just managing to hang on there. Rudy now goes through. Rockstar Mel still trying to find a way past Brandon and out in front. Reese with 6 seconds. He's out of the battles, out of the fighting. And I'm sure he'll be very happy with where he currently is. Rudy, Ashley, side by side. Rudy, will he be able to push his way through? But Dave now, he gets a much better exit and he gets himself ahead as Mafira's now there. Just managing to catch on to not let that car spin. But that just shows you what happens when you're battling and you start doing times, the 222s, 221s, that the pack starts closing up. So Rudy in 6th place has now got Mafira and Julian right up behind him. Fastest first sector there for Reese, 56.2, so that was 0.2 quicker than Jacques' first sector time. So Dave in 5th position. And Jacques starting to close that gap, just over a second now between himself and Brandon. But we have seen it is one thing to catch the driver on this track, the next is to pass. So Rudy is still trying to fight his way back between himself and Dave. So Reese now going through turn number 14, 1.5 minutes left of this race. So Jacques is within a second between himself and Brandon. And Ashley up into 4th place. He's ahead of Dave, but he has got Rudy right behind him. Mafira up into 7th place. So he did get that place up away from Julian. Also see that down at the back there, this is between Leon and James. These two also trading positions in the last couple of laps, and we weren't really able to see them. But we'll watch Leon into turn number 1. He is on the inside. So James just allowing him to go through. Let's just jump back to the battle for 2nd and 3rd. It looks like Brandon is a little bit more comfortable than he thinks, and Ashley makes a mistake as we join them. Dave now goes up into 4th place. Ashley dropping down to 6th, which allows Rudy to go through. But still 6 corners left, so anything can happen. Mafira's having a late lunge. He's on the back of Ashley. So Ashley's still trying to sneak up on the inside there. But it looks like Mafira is right there. Ashley and Dave coming to contact once again. Ashley now running wide. Ashley going too deep. That allows Dave to go through. And he's going to have the likes of the BMW from Mafira in a 7th place. Dave are currently in 5th. Ashley in a 6th. Close that inside line there, Dave. Ashley's coming. And that's exactly what happens. But Ashley runs too deep on the brakes. Allows Mafira to go through. Looks like Julian is going to have a go as well. Ashley having a little bit of a shortcut there. So Reese will across the line in a 2nd place, followed by Brandon, then Jacques. Rudy up into 4th place with Mafira in 5th. Dave in 5th, Ashley 6th, Julian in 7th. Man oh man, what a crazy, crazy finish there. Raphael comes home in 9th place with Leon managing to get a place in the end there, followed by James in 11th place.